I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. What a show! Joining me, Poppy Tucker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hey,
hello. Ralph's on the Park executive chef Knute Mjelde. Hello, welcome.
Thanks for having me
He's making
here.
his debut.
I'm very excited.
I'm so glad you're here. And also making your debut, Taylor Eichenwald, Assistant Director of New Orleans Auction Galleries, here to tell us all about a brand new Antiques Roadshow style event coming up in February, WYES. Welcome. Hi,
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and TheaterCriticism.com. And that's not all, Philip Straub with the AMICI organization, which organizes the Laffont Competition for the Metropolitan Opera Regional Finals this weekend. And we're right here in New Orleans. So welcome, Philip. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. And Poppy, we cannot get enough of king cake, clearly.
No, the king cake parade continues.
Yes,
you know?
it does.
And this week we're going to talk about first Steve Himmelfarb. He and his wife Becky, who used to have the Cake Cafe in the Marigny. You know, when they closed the Cake Cafe in 2020, Steve started teaching in NOCA's culinary program. And so he offered up that precious recipe as a NOCA fundraiser. And so from NOCA, you can get the goat cheese and apple king cake. Then in 2021, they developed a raspberry and cream cheesecake. And then this year, something new. He's figured out how to make a gluten-free, dairy-free cake that is very king cake reminiscent. It's delicious. All are made to order. You select the date at least 2 days in advance and order it. Then you pick it up at the Press Street Station Friday through Sunday and on Lune de Gras too. And also, they ship nationwide, and you can find them every day at King Cake Hub. Okay. Now, if you're shopping for king cakes, a great place to think of is the Crescent City Farmers Market, because they've got lots of king cakes. And I've got some pictures of some of them. Papa's Donuts and Passion Flower are there on Thursdays with their cake. And at a lot of the farmers markets, you're going to be able to buy slices of king cake to test them out too. And then Sunday are the best choices. There's Huckleberry's Creamery goat's milk cheese cake. Okay, I think I got all those words out. J.D. Blueberries is there. Coffee Science is there on Sundays. And of course, you can go to their store on Broad Street anytime and get these cakes. But they've got Venetian cream, Satsuma, and chocolate espresso. And I can't wait to taste that one. Then Leo's Bakery is offering a ricotta, chocolate, and orange king cake that I haven't eaten yet, but boy, does it sound good. And Viola's Heritage Breads is there with their sweet potato king cake. Now, you can also find Viola's Heritage Bread king cakes at King Cake Connection. And I don't know if you remember them from last year. They debuted, they were over at 7-3 Distillery last year. And this is an effort from Where Black Nola Eats. These are all Black-owned businesses, like Adrian's Bakery. I don't know if people remember when they're on the West Bank, but they had a store on Ferret Street for a while. And delicious king cakes. That was before Katrina. Anyway, that's one of the cakes they've got. They've got all sorts of things. They've got king cake popcorn. They've got candles. They've got all sorts of great stuff. And so they are at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum this year, Thursday through Sunday, 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. Don't miss it.
Okay, thank you so much. And turning to Chef, first of all, we want to thank Ralph's on the Park because you're all kind enough to host one of the Season of Good Taste dinners, which is sold out, but there is a wait list. So we're going to very quickly show you the information that you can go to wyes.org/events and put your name on that wait list for Ralph's on the Park. But we're also going to show some of the dishes that are in that dinner, but just typical dishes at Ralph's if you haven't been to Ralph's. And it's such a beautiful place, and I can clearly say it's one of my favorites. That is for sure. But let's show the interior. It is just, it used to be many years ago, some folks may remember, it was Tavern on the Park. Okay, it's been Ralph's, and of course Ralph and Susan Brennan have had it now for a long time. So easy to park. It's so beautiful. That's that Tony Green mural. There's 2 Tony Green murals there. And what I'm excited about are some of the dishes that and look how pretty. I mean, that's from the Dumaine Street entrance of City Park. So if Ralph's on the Park is, of course, you know, on City Park. But Chef, tell us about this drink that we're enjoying.
So this lovely cocktail, Sierra and Eric worked together to come up with this delicious thing for our Mardi Gras cocktail. It has a rum chata, stolichnia vodka, a little butterscotch and a little cream, and then of course some festive colored sugar here on top. And so far the taste testing has gone very well. We're really excited about getting it out to the public and letting them all try it.
Sounds great. And moving on to some of the dishes that we'll show too, because I know you have some of your standard signature dishes, and we'll show some of those as well. There's also like turtle soup and just all kinds of great ones. And you really focus on fresh ingredients, don't you? There's the turtle soup. Ooh.
Yes. We try to get.
Ooh.
Thank you. We try to get everything as close to the back door as we can. We use fisheries all across the Gulf. We use wild caught snapping turtles for our turtle soup. We use ground beef from a local farm in Mississippi to bulk it up a little bit. We make our own veal stock from the bones from those cows. And every vegetable we can get close to home, we get close to home. It's just, there's too much local stuff.
And the City Park salad, of course, is another standard. And you can eat on the balcony on occasion, especially for special events. I'm seeing the balcony up there on the 2nd floor.
Yes, that'll be, the balcony will be available for the YES dinner.
Great. I think that's really on the menu, too. And the whole menu, I should add, is at WYES.org, as we said. But yes, that's a really great standard. Very, very pretty. But tell us about this one, Chef.
So this is a part of our brunch 3-course. We know brunch, people like to sit, they like to mingle, they like to talk, and they want to eat good food. So for our 2nd course on our 3-course, this is the ribeye with eggs. It's got bacon jam. It's a 12-ounce cut of beef. We put a little asparagus so you can feel a little healthier about eating all that food. It's one of the most popular sellers right now at brunch.
Okay, and then moving on.
That's the competition at brunch. This is the shrimp quiche. It's a delicious, the bakery makes these shells, these pie shells, these savory pie shells for us every week. We get them Saturday, Sundays. We fill them with a mixture of mozzarella cheese, spinach, mushrooms we get from Maggie, another local purveyor, and then we use Louisiana shrimp, a little saute of spinach.
Okay, all right. Now this is what we really wanted to focus on, and that's that 4-course lobster menu, now through February 19th. And tell us about these dishes. Okay.
So
let's go clockwise, I guess.
Yeah, so the 2nd course is actually on the top left. That's going to be the Louisiana citrus and lobster salad. So what you're buying with this is you're getting one whole lobster, and we've cleaned it. We've turned the shells into soup. We've turned the stock from the shells into the sauce. And we've used the lobster across all of the 3 savory courses. So your salad is going to get all the beautiful local citrus right now. We have satsumas, blood oranges, grapefruits coming in. It's going to be a short season, but while we've got it, we wanted to put it on there. And that's where you'll get your knuckle meat and your claw.
Look at that. Is that a satsuma pie?
That is how you finish the, so every dish kind of, you know, calls to the next course down the line. And then to the right of that is the 1st course. It's a lobster bisque. We make ours with the shells and the stock, garlic bread croutons on top of that, and we put Gruyere cheese and some of those mushrooms I mentioned from Maggie to give it that earthy flavor. So they just kind of go from earthy to bright to clean. And then to finish it off, we do our version of lobster Americain, which is a classic French preparation. We get, you know, lobster unfortunately is not a local ingredient, so we pair it with the local ingredients. We get some preserved artichoke on that plate. We're doing a mixture of winter vegetables. Right now we've got some beautiful heirloom carrots from a farm in northern Louisiana that we're running tonight. You'll see radishes on there. And again, some more mushrooms to call back to that 1st course. So
once again, you see all the information. And if you want, though, a champagne pairing for an additional $25, that's a good deal.
Yes.
That's a really good deal.
And that is also, I think, going to be offered to guests who are coursing out their other meals throughout the promotion, too, if they like to try a flight of those champagnes.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, Chef. Well, gee, it's great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. I am a huge fan of the show. And I'm a huge fan of the fellows at these tables today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we were talking earlier off camera about the truffle fries, and that you all, briefly took them off the menu,
It was a mistake.
and there was almost a riot.
Sometimes you learn from mistakes. You know,
It's a little backlash.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, welcome, and thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Taylor, my goodness, we're partnering with New Orleans Auction for an
Very
Antiques
excited.
Roadshow style event. Tell us all about this Antique Showcase.
Yeah, so we could not be more thrilled. It's a natural fit, I think, with New Orleans Auction Galleries, and partnered with WYES to put on roadshow style event where people can come bring their items in.
And we're going to show you kind of a plethora of items as we talk.
That's right.
And I know you've got some show and tell too.
Exactly, yeah, and I'll take that out here in just a second, but a little bit of everything.
Yes.
You know, and if it's too big to bring, they can bring photos. It's a great opportunity to interface with all of our specialists who just part of what we love in our business.
All
is
kinds of items.
all
here,
kinds of
right.
things, yeah. It's meeting people and seeing what people have and what they collect or what they've inherited. It'll be a fun day.
Yes, it will be. What we need to be really clear on, though, is this is not an appraisal; it's an evaluation.
Correct.
So, and that there is a difference on that, you know. But just to kind of get an idea of maybe something very special that you have, and you want to learn a little bit more about it. But the other thing is, and you'll have experts on hand and some vendors. But I'm also really excited about the fact that you'll have talks during the day too. Tell us about that.
Yes, no, I am too. We have 3 of our specialists. First, I believe, is Claudia Keel, who will be talking about, actually, we'll start with Greg there on the left,
Yes.
our furniture expert. And he's going to be talking about how to take care of antique furniture, how to live with antiques, and we will open it up to questions. So if anybody is curious about, you know, fixing a scratch or a stain or just any question you can think of about furniture, Greg will be there to answer, and he's
And he's going to
extensive
give a talk,
experience.
and then
We've got Charles Cage, who is our silver expert, and he'll be talking about caring for silver, and you know, I think it's a lot easier than people think, and also answering questions. And then finally, we have Claudia Keel, who will be discussing Louisiana art and talking about some of the most important artists of our region, and again, opening it up for questions. So
Right, and I know you have some other experts on hand too, but to me, this is the deal. Okay, to start off with, they're all different kind of price points on tickets. $20 if you don't have anything that you want to ask about, but you just want to enjoy the day and go to these talks, all right? And then $30 if you bring an item or show a picture, and then it graduates to that, but all the information is at WYES.org with wine and light bites.
That's right. What could you ask for
Such
more?
a deal.
And you know,
Such a
just
deal.
with a $20 ticket, you can ask questions all day long. You know,
Yeah, well,
plenty
that's
of
true.
opportunities.
No, so much fun, so much fun. I had the good fortune recently of purchasing. I was a lucky bidder on an item, and the place, I mean, on Joseph Street is just incredible. Just to walk around there. Wasn't that formerly, was it not? The chefs.
Foundry.
Yeah, the Foundry. Thank you. Yeah, the chefs. It was have the Foundry. It was a special events place
Exactly.
there. Yeah.
And we
So
still
you're right in
entertain.
Warehouse
We left
District.
the bars intact. So
You did?
Come see
that's
us.
very important. Very important. Well, Taylor, show us what you have. real
Yeah.
quick. I'm realizing you've got
Well,
some great show.
I have a little show and tell today.
Okay,
I thought I
okay.
would bring this piece by. Says
Nice. Whoa. That's
Ooh, boy.
by Giovanni Petrini, who's a silversmith, architect, a little bit of everything, but have these fabulous crawfish.
That's
gorgeous.
fabulous.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Gee whiz. And you've got one more thing? Let's see.
I do, actually.
Okay.
I've got all sorts of stuff under here. Yeah. You know, just
Quite the magic table.
just so we can all keep track of time. This is a 19th century French clock.
Wow, let's turn it around. Okay, so we can get
Incredible.
There we
Look at
go.
that. So really, folks could bring, as long as they can carry it, they can
Yes.
bring their item or a photo, okay? And that could be a furniture, the photo. Okay,
Exactly.
don't bring the furniture, right? But anyway.
And anything, you know, we have a few restrictions on things that we're not looking at.
That's at the
look online, but
WYES.org.
don't
right.
be, does not have to be this fancy. We will see everything, and under the sun.
Well, we're thrilled. Once again, go to wyes.org/events for all the details, but it's going to be so much fun, too.
I can't wait.
Thank you much.
Thank
all
you.
right. Moving over to Alan.
You know, if you put this in hot water, it turns red. Well, anyway, I'm going to be talking about Jesus Christ Superstar, and this is not your grandfather's Jesus Christ Superstar. The national tour at the Sanger, the 50th anniversary, rock opera cum rock musical. From the opening guitar solo, you know that this massive 3-story stage is going to be different. And it's directed by Timothy Shader with choreography by Drew McOney. This is a bold new reshaping of the original production that we've seen here. Jack Hopewell stars as Jesus and Elvie Ellis is Judas. The two work really very well with each other. Elvie actually takes some unexpected turns with his vocals, which I like very much. And then what really makes this such a spectacular, breathtaking piece, and Peggy, you can chime in if you want, is the choreography of the apostles and the disciples who seem to never stand still. It plays with no intermissions, and in reality makes much more sense not to stop the action that is really building between Jesus and Judas and the disciples and the Pharisees. I mean, even the costuming for the Roman guards, look at that. It's entirely new. It's got
so many more production values. I remember seeing a concert version in the original in the early 70s that came through New Orleans. So much more
staid, yes.
Much more staid.
And the cast really all sounded superb. And while it, is sped up a bit more because of no intermission, etc., we may be not as accustomed to it. It's still at its core the very same music that we all came to know and love by Andrew Lloyd Webber and lyrics by Tim Rice. And it's going to be something you want to see. It's still really very much a passion play. It's a work of art that stands the test of time. I really very much recommend it and hope that people will check out this really remarkable new version of a beloved classic.
Just a quick P.S. I saw a friend who was in the audience, and she said, "Gee, I hope it's loud enough." And then she said, "Well, it doesn't matter because we all know the words."
Yeah, that's
and
true.
we do. We know the lyrics. How many times did I play those records?
Yes,
right.
that's
anyway.
right. All right, and then moving on to another piece that's coming up, and this is a film. I must admit, really, my personal life has intersected with Valerie Sassafras quite a bit. She was a student with me back in high school, and in my homeroom even. And then I was even her DJ at her first wedding that she had back in 1978. That started me on the course of doing DJ work at weddings. Valerie divorced and remarried, and then moved away a few years later. She became famous just a few years ago when she moved back and started doing solo gigs at the old Piccadilly Cafeteria on Jefferson Highway, if you remember that. She was working for Tips and Meals. Well, I even won my first Press Club of New Orleans award for an entertainment feature along with Poppy and Peggy in 2015, and this was one of the photos I took of her in action. Well, Valerie is the subject of a 2020 film called Nobody May Come. It's a documentary that is by Stephen Luca and Ella Hadamian. It's the story of her free spirit, quirky but a talented individual trying to make her way in life. She plays an impressive number of instruments and loops tracks to harmonize with herself. The film really displays both her public and private lives and really documents her appearance also on America's Got Talent. The film plays only one night at the Broad Theater at 7 o'clock on January the 19th, and if you want to check that out, there are only a few seats left. Now, meanwhile, on the NOLA Theater Talk Show, Peggy, we'll be doing some cave diving. I think that's called spelunking, with the director and cast members of Cave. That'll be opening this weekend at the Backyard Ballroom. And I hope that people will check that out as well. That's on the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, which is not theatercriticism.com, which is the website, as well as my own YouTube channel. By the way, if you haven't checked it out, and I know the people from AMICI would appreciate this, the LPO has several outings that are going to be happening coming up in just a couple of nights. The artistic director, Carlos Miguel Prieto, of course, in his final year, we're going to have the Elgar and Britain concerts they're going to do, and you can catch it. If you didn't catch tonight's performance, you can catch it on Saturday on the North Shore. David Pomeroy and Molly Tate are going to be taking part in the Serenade for Tenor, Horn, and Strings by Britain. And then Maestro Pietro will hold the baton for the First Symphony by Elgar on the second half of the program. That should be very good. Then, going from what we might think is the normal course of events for a symphony orchestra, Miguel Prieto and company at the LPO will be pairing with who else? The Lost Bayou Ramblers.
What a great
Cajun
idea.
style. And that's going to be on Sunday. He's going to welcome them, and they're going to collaborate on all kinds of Cajun music from the Lost Bayou Ramblers, as well as the film, the music from Beasts of the Southern Wild. So that should be really interesting. Check that all out at the Orpheum Theater.
Okay, thank you so much, Alan. And over to Philip. It's great to once again have you on our show and to talk to you about, it really is a labor of love with the AMICI Group to put together these Metropolitan, regional, and national finals. Tell us about all that this weekend, Tom.
Peggy, thanks. It's a great joy to be back again. It is time for the Metropolitan Opera auditions, the 69th edition of those auditions. It's now operating under a different name, the Laffont Competition for the Metropolitan Opera. But it's the same format. The district auditions will be held at Roussel Hall on Saturday the 14th. Out of that district competition for New Orleans will come several singers who will go on to the regional finals, which will be held on the 15th. The district finals are free and open to the public. The regional finals, we ask for a $10 donation. They're both at Roussel Hall on the Loyola campus at the corner of St. Charles and Calhoun. And out of those regional finals, 1 or 2 people will be selected to go on to New York to sing on the Met stage in the semifinals, and hopefully 1 or more of those will progress to the finals the following week, again on the stage of the Met with a full Met orchestra.
And some illustrious alums from New Orleans, huh?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We have had singers, we've had more singers than I can possibly begin to count or enumerate. But 2 of our big favorites are Brian Email, who oddly enough will be appearing with the New Orleans Opera Association this March.
Coincidence.
In one of his signature roles in Madama Butterfly as B.F. Pinkerton.
Yeah.
Another one of our big favorites is Lizette Oropesa, who won it all in 2005 and has made an incredible career for herself both in the U.S. and in Europe. The young lady has just taken the opera world by storm, and it all started here in New Orleans in 2004.
Incredible. So the first day is for free, but then just a $10 donation. And what's so nice about AMICI is that you all raise funds throughout the year to help some of these regional finalists don't necessarily have enough money to go to New York for the finals or a nice dress or a suit. And that's where you come in, huh? AMICI
every year raises somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000, all from local donors. And we have been known to buy a tuxedo for one of our finalists in New York. Not
in New York, okay.
Not a cheap trick. But the young man made it up there, made it into the finals, didn't have a tuxedo to fit. Oh. We bought him one. And that's the purpose of the AMICI organization, is to help these singers make the splash that we think they can make in the opera world.
Oh, and once again, you all are very active on your Facebook page, and we'll mention it again at the end. But you know, if folks want more information about all of that, and it's just amazing though how many winners from New Orleans and how many singers went on to perform for the Met. I mean, the list is long, including Norman Tragle, whose granddaughter won last year.
Yes, and if I could just take 1 minute to mention, our first winner from New Orleans was in 1951. It was the tenor Charles Anthony Caruso, who won, and in 1954 he was asked to join the Met to sing at the Met stage, on the Met stage in the Met Opera. The Rudolph Bing, the general director at the time, told him that he had to change his name. He could not perform as Charles Anthony Caruso because, quote, there is only one Caruso.
Thank you, Philip. Now we're going to go on to our Picks of the Week. Poppy.
Another great event right here at WYES, Saturday, January 21st. Join us for King Cake and Conversation. There'll be Matt Haynes with the Big Book of King Cake. Peggy will be there. I'll be there.
Arthur
There'll be
and
lots
Errol.
of King Cake, Nolita, Celtica. There'll be a king cake cocktail. $20 is all, and it benefits WYES.
Thank you, Chef.
Yes. We are offering the Pink Parade King Cake
Look
from
at that.
the
Ooh, it's
Ralph
gorgeous.
Brennan kingcakesbybrennans.com. You can pick them up at Ralph's in the Park, or you can order them online at kingcakebybrennans.com.
That's great. Yes, and you have a total of 3 different kinds, which
Yes.
we showed them all last week too, which is
Yes.
great. Taylor.
Our gallery opens for exhibition this Monday for our interiors auction, and we also are looking for consignments for upcoming March estates auction.
All right, great. Alan.
Next weekend, the LPO joins forces with the New Orleans Opera Association. They're going to be presenting Charlie Parker's Yardbird by Daniel Shooter. It's being presented at the New Orleans Jazz Market on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard. But this is an opera. Do not make any mistake about it. In the classical sense of the word, there will be 3 showings on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is a little unusual. And hopefully I'll see you at the theater.
All right, thank you. Philip.
Oh, please, everyone come to Roussel Hall either Friday or Saturday. I'm sorry, Saturday or Sunday to see the auditions and help us support those singers by coming and joining AMICI at the auditions, or go to AMICI's Facebook page, facebook.com, AMICI Monk.
Thank you so much. And my picks. First up, a WYES program note, Dave McNamara, who produces Heart of Louisiana, features for Fox 8, is also a very talented still photographer. A half-hour documentary hosted by Angela Hill will be shown Monday, January 16th, this Monday at 9 p.m. and on the 22nd at 10 a.m. on WYES, WYES.org, and WYES and PBS apps. Also on the WYES YouTube channel. Check out Dave's wonderful website, too, on heartoflouisiana.com. And we've got the Tennessee Williams Festival, because they have a virtual writers retreat, and that's this Saturday. You can go to tennesseewilliams.net for all the information on that. And lots of experts on it. What a full day, and you can learn so very much. Authors, agents, and editors. And that's this Saturday, as we said. And moving on, we have a painting of New Orleans, including the Rex Parade's Boeuf Gras, lots of paintings of New Orleans, by the late artist Jack Kleinberg. And that'll be on exhibit starting this Saturday at the Cowell Robinson Gallery. And there will be a reception from noon to 3, and the show runs through February. The Piety Market takes place also on Saturday. Check that out at Beanlandia. That's right there on Royal Street between Piety and Desire. And then also in the neighborhood, you've got Jose Torres Tama, who has a wonderful, will show that image of Ode to Satchmo, a man and his trumpet. And he is going to have an open house on Saturday afternoon, and that will be great on St. Roch Avenue. Look at that. Yes, indeed. And Jose is so articulate and so much fun, and such a really, really fine artist, too. And then finally, check out the Ogden Museum, because they will have an all-day open free with Martin Luther King Day and all kinds of activities, art activities as well. Thank you all so very much, and thank you for watching. Good night.